the book of Job, reflected on through images, verses, and words, following a 2-month experience of Bethlehem in the West Banks of Palestine. It has been 2 months since I left Palestine. As I recall and ponder the plight of the Palestinian people and compare that to my readings of Job, I remember a time sitting in my room on the 3rd floor of the guest house of the Bethlehem Bible College, overlooking Jerusalem Hebron Street, which I had come to find out also overlooks the Al-Azia refugee camp, the smallest of the refugee camps, yet it holds between 1,700 and 2,000 people inside the center of that small city block. It has no medical or educational facilities, so the residents have to rely on the nearby refugee camps for their services. Sitting in front of me on the table, next to the laptop, is a wooden children's block. Your typical block. It is smooth and colorful, with the partial images of an elephant, a hippo, tiger, zebra, and what looks like a number and an outline of a picture. This was obviously part of a set that, when lined up correctly with the other blocks in the set, would make children's pictures. I found this block as I completed a walk of the entire wall between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. It was sitting in the midst of a pile of broken cinder blocks and limestone tile and other household items. How it got there, I don't know. It's in good condition, not burned or soiled. Too far from any play area to have been dropped. I could only guess that this pile of rubble might have been all that remained of a Palestinian home that had been demolished, and the rubble dumped there next to the wall. This land that no one lived on, except a few stray dogs, a place that is windswept and barren of joy and beauty. But here was a precious reminder that there was and are children here, children that deserve something far better than this, someplace that is clean, green, and not occupied. The walk continued as I went back towards town, and several of the young people gestured that I should walk a different way, but I ignored them and walked toward Rachel's tomb and the cemetery that surrounds it. As I walked up the street, there were several young boys with slingshots, and they were trying to hit the wall and observation tower at the top of the hill. They're not having much luck, and they stopped as I went past them towards the wall. Just as soon as they stopped, a number of heads popped over the wall and began to watch me and the boys. They did very little movement, and whenever I raised my camera for a photo, they ducked down behind the wall. When I entered the cemetery and proceeded down between the rows of headstones, I could hear them talking in Hebrew, and whenever I looked up, it went silent. I stopped, watched from the corner of the cemetery as they used binoculars to watch the youth and to look over at me. Once I felt that nothing was going to happen, I continued on. That's when a large bang went off right behind me. I turned around and went back to where I was standing and saw nothing, except the military disappearing every time I raised my camera. We played this game for a while. When I left and resumed my walk back to the guest house, the bangs returned. I clutched my block in my pocket and prayed that the children would be safe. When I got to my desk and looked at my email, there was a new invitation to talk to the children of that tiny Handala Center at the Al-Azira refugee camp about art and how they wanted to work together to improve the lives of the children and families through art. I'm keeping this block with me until this is over for these children, and they have a place to live without apartheid walls and military occupation. Book of Job, chapter 1, verses 10 through 11. Have you not put a fence around him and his house and all that he has? On every side? You have blessed the works of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand now and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face. Job chapter 14, verse 7. For there is hope for a tree. If it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and its shoots will not cease. Job chapter 15, 32 through 33. It will be paid in full before their time, and their branch will not be green. They will shake off their unripe grape like the vine, and cast off their blossoms like the olive tree. Job chapter 19. How long will you torment me and break me in pieces with words? These 10 times you have cast reproach upon me. Are you not ashamed to wrong me? And even if it is true that I have erred, my error remains with me. If indeed you magnify yourself against me, and make my humiliation an argument against me, know then that God has put me in the wrong, and closed his net around me. Even when I cry out, violence, I am not answered. I call aloud, but there is no justice. He has walled up my way so that I cannot pass, and he has set darkness upon my paths. He has stripped my glory from me and taken the crown from my head. He breaks me down on every side, and I am gone. He has reproached my hope like a tree. He has kindled his wrath against me and counts me as his adversary. His troops come on together. They have thrown up siege works against me and encamped around my tent. He has put my family far from me, and my acquaintances are wholly estranged from me. My relatives and my close friends have failed me. The guests in my house have forgotten me. My serving girls count me as a stranger. I have become an alien in their eyes. I call to my servant, but he gives me no answer. I must myself plead with him. My breath is repulsive to my wife. I am loathsome to my own family. Even young children despise me. When I rise, they talk against me. All my intimate friends abhor me, and those whom I love have turned against me. My bones cling to my skin and to my flesh, and I have escaped by the skin of my teeth. Have pity on me, O you my friends, for the hand of God has touched me. Why do you, like God, pursue me, never satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words were written down. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book. Oh, that with an iron pen and with lead they were engraved on a rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that at the last he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has been thus destroyed, then in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see on my side, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. My heart faints within me. If you say, how he will persecute him, and the root of the matter is not found in him, be afraid of the sword. For wrath brings the punishment of the sword, so that you may know that there is judgment. Job chapter 21, verses 11 through 13. They send out their little ones like a flock, and their children dance around. They sing to the tambourine and the lyre, and rejoice to the sound of the pipe. They spend their days in prosperity, and in peace they go down to Sheol. Job chapter 27. As God lives, who has taken away my right, and the Almighty, who has made my soul bitter, as long as my breath is in me and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils, my lips shall not speak falsehood, and my tongue shall not utter deceit. Far be it from me to say that you are right. Until I die, I will not put away my integrity from me. I hold fast my righteousness and will not let it go. My heart does not reproach me for any of my days. May my enemy be like the wicked, and may my opponent be like the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the godless when God cuts them off? When God takes away their lives, will God hear their cry when trouble comes upon them? Will they take delight in the Almighty? Will they call upon God at all times? I will teach you concerning the hand of God. That which is with the Almighty I will not conceal. All of you have seen it yourself. Why then have you become altogether vain? This is the portion of the wicked with God, and the heritage of that oppressors receive from the Almighty. If their children are multiplied, it is for the sword, and their offspring have not enough to eat. Those who survive them, the pestilence buries, and their widows make no lamentations. Though they heap up silver like dust, they pile up clothing like clay, they may pile it up. But the just will wear it, and the innocent will divide the silver. They build their houses like nests, like booths made by sentinels of the vineyard. They go to bed with wealth, but will do so no more. They open their eyes, and it is gone. Terrors overtake them like a flood. In the night a whirlwind carries them off. The east wind lifts them up, and they are gone. It sweeps them out of their place. It hurls them without pity. They flee from its power in headlong flight. It claps its hands at them and hisses at them from its place. Job chapter 28, verses 12 through 21. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Mortals do not know the way to it, and it is not found in the land of the living. The deep says, "It is not in me," and the sea says, "It is not with me." It cannot be gotten for gold, and silver cannot be weighed out as its price. It cannot be valued in the gold of Ophir, or precious onyx or sapphire. Gold and glass cannot equal it, nor can it be exchanged for jewels of fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or of crystal. The price of wisdom is above pearls. The crystallite of Ethiopia cannot compare with it, nor can it be valued in pure gold. Where then does wisdom come from? From where is the place of understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all living and concealed from the birds of the air. Job 29, verses 2 through 4. Oh, that I were as the months of old, as in the days when God watched over me, when his lamp shone over my head, and by his light I walked through darkness, when I was in my prime, and when friendship with God was upon my tent. Job 33, verses 28 through 30. He has redeemed my soul from going down to the pit, and my life shall see the light. God indeed does all these things, twice, 3 times, with mortals to bring back their souls from the pit, so that they may see the light of life. Job 35, verses 9 and 10. Because of the multitude of oppressions, people cry out. They call for help because of the arm of the Almighty. But no one says, "Where is God, my Maker, who gives me strength in the night?" Job 35, 12 through 13. There they cry out, but he does not answer. Because of the pride of evildoers, surely God does not hear an empty cry, nor does the Almighty regard it. Job 39, 22 through 30. It laughs at fear, and it is not dismayed. It does not turn back from the sword upon its rattle, the quiver, the flashing spear and the javelin, the fierceness and rage it swallows. It cannot stand still at the sound of the trumpet. When the trumpet sounds, it says, "Aha!" From a distance it smells the battle. the thunder of the captains and the shouting. It is by your wisdom that the hawk soars and spreads its wings towards the south. Is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes its nest on high? It lives on the rock and makes its home in the fastness of the rocky crag. From there it spies the prey. Its eyes see it from afar. Its young ones suck up blood, and where the slain are, there it is.